From dating to relationships, from sex to love, from Christianity to politics, from darkness to light, you have now entered into the real zone. Welcome to Conversations with Trent, where no topic of conversation is safe from discussion. Now, here he is, Mr. Epic himself, Trent Williams.
God, don't give up on me yet. I know I'm not your best bet, but I'm trying. Don't give up on me yet. Ooh, and God, don't leave me here alone. I know I need to grow still, and I'm trying. Don't leave me here alone.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another conversation with Trent and friends, featuring the lovely, nutritious coach, Coach Catherine from France. Good stuff. We'll be talking about what is cancer? What is cancer? So Catherine, again, will be leading the podcast, as always, as you do twice a month, every single Thursday, twice a month. So we're talking about what is cancer. I've been doing double duty here this morning, actually all week. Just finished the podcast with Tammy on End This Season. And after the wonderful podcast here with nutritious coach Catherine, I'll be headed off to the gym. So I'm double dipping today. So good stuff. Let's bring Catherine in real quick. Hey.
Hey, good morning. It's good morning.
Good morning to me. Good afternoon to you.
Thank
How are you?
I'm good. Well,
it's actually going into the evening at that time, right? It's like 3:30 over there.
It's 3:30, yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. It's afternoon.
Good stuff. How are you today, man? How's it going?
I'm doing good. What about you? You're busy.
Busy. So
yeah, I like the music. I like the music with the in the beginning. But it's really chills the heart. Anyway, she really has a nice voice and feels like you need to question where you are in this world.
Right. Yeah, that's the promo for the recovery book. 2 weeks, folks. 2 weeks. It'll be out. The recovery book will be out 2 weeks. I'll be having a book signing at Barnes and Noble. So I put some work into that. There's 2 versions of the recovery book. This book, the one that's being released in 2 weeks, is the guide for people with different abilities. So my past experiences, I shared them with folks with different abilities to help them move along through their process of a recovery. Then there's also Recovery the Novel, all the drama that I went through in my life with this process. So 2 versions. The novel will be out February, March, but the guide book will be out in 2 weeks. So I've been kind of busy. So good stuff here, man. So what is cancer? Yeah. Take it away, nutritious coach Catherine.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. And let's take over. What is cancer? Trent, do you know what cancer is?
Actually, I don't. Actually, I have a friend of mine who was diagnosed with bladder cancer. So I sent him over the link. So hopefully he's listening and checking it out today.
Okay. So cancer actually is a complex disease because it's not just one disease. It's a category of diseases, and it's normally can get to any organ. That's why we have brain cancer, we have lung cancer, we have kidney cancer, and so forth. So
Right.
it's not one, it's an umbrella actually. Cancer is an umbrella of different cancers. And actually, what I understood from the specialist of cancer is
Right.
even in the same organ, you don't have the same cancer. Like for women who have breast cancer, there are different kinds of breast cancer.
Right. I got
Okay.
you. Let's say before you get started, let's say hi to the folks over here. We got some folks in here saying Grand Rising. That's from
Hi,
stuff there.
Masha. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Good
Brenda
morning, Brenda.
Davis out of Memphis. Good stuff.
Good
And in
morning.
this season podcast, that's Tammy. She's saying good morning. It's the
Thank you. Good
butterfly.
morning. Good afternoon. Good morning.
Good stuff. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
good. So, what is cancer? So, I just said, what causes cancer? Um, Cancer can be genetic. So, like you were born with it. That one you know when your family, it's in the family. You know your mom, your dad, your uncles, someone, or maybe several people in the family have it or had it. Then that is genetic. The other cancer, it's acquired. We acquired through the lifestyles.
Now you're telling me something I didn't even know. So cancer is genetic?
No, some part of it is genetic.
Okay,
And
gotcha.
5% of all cancers is genetic. Like just a little part of it. Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
The, the rest of 95% of the cancer, people who have cancer, it's because they acquired it in their life. You can be exposed to chemicals, for example. Growing old, I didn't know that. Aging exposes us to high risk of getting cancer. And the way we live, smoking is one of the biggest cause of cancer, and obesity.
Okay.
But obesity actually, when we look at the obesity has two components: it's the insulin resistant and the inflammation. So wherever there is inflammation and there is insulin, we might have cancer coming up.
Right.
Okay, so
So
like
inflammation attracts cancer?
cancer itself, it's inflammation, but it can cause to that because what happens, it's like cancer, it's a healthy cell in the beginning. And mind you, you're seated there, I'm seated here, and everyone who is alive today, we have cancer cells within
Right.
our cell, within our system. Yeah. So how your immune system is working, that's what differentiates if someone is going to develop cancer or the immune system is capable to suppress cancer. So how you have a question?
Yeah, I was gonna ask what feeds cancer?
We're going to get there.
Okay.
So cancer is a healthy cell that divides. Actually, our cells are supposed to divide. That's why, for example, we age because the self divides. It's naturally they are programmed to divide themselves, and when they divide, sometimes they are renewed. That's why, like for young people and for people as we grow, some cells are not renewed the way they were supposed to be renewed. And so, if there is a problem that happens in cell division, that cell will start multiplying itself faster than this normal cells.
So it accelerates it.
It accelerates. Now, what happens is like it might not even listen, get the information from the immune system. Actually, when the cells get to a certain point, they're supposed to die. We call that apoptosis. It's died itself. the cells are programmed like that. So when the cell doesn't die and the immune system is not getting to destroy it, then it keeps on multiplying, and that uncontrollable multiplications becomes problematic because it now starts hurting other cells, and it starts getting how it's going. It's like crying for survival, and it wants to survive at all costs.
Gotcha.
That's how the cancer grows.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So how can we combat that? Like, let's just say, how do we combat that? How do we stay ahead of the game of these bad cells?
The way we can do that is what I said again, is depending on the immune system. Okay. So we really need to have every second, every time we are thinking, how is my immune system? And this goes with what makes your immune system more strong than someone else. It's the way you're living, the way you're eating. I say, like someone who's smoking. Alcohol, even if it's not related to causing cancer, anything that will make the immune system less strong will, I'm not saying it's going to lead to cancer, but it's going to increase that risk of those cells becoming cancerous tumors.
Gotcha. So you're saying the more vulnerable the immune system is, the more likely it will attract.
Yeah. Okay. That doesn't mean that every person who is sick today is going to have cancer. It all depends on the immune system.
Right? Gotcha.
So now there is something important here is all those cells, when they divide themselves, they can't become tumor unless they start feeding themselves. So how do they feed themselves? The cancer cells, they start hijacking the normal cells for food. They feed on sugar, actually glucose in the blood. So the more you have food that is bringing sugar or glucose, and the more we have that, when we eat, there is insulin. So the cancer likes insulin. So it's going to have that insulin and glucose mostly, that's what we're talking about. So it's going to feed on glucose mostly, but it has three things that it feeds on, but mostly it's glucose. Okay. So the cancer cells, they're also capable of growing their own blood vessels, so they can attach themselves in places where they're going to feed. So
what you're saying is, let me get this right. What about people with diabetes? They attract cancer cells, they're more highly, let's just say they're more accessible to getting it.
They have high risk of that getting cancer.
I got you. Okay. Yeah. So you guys.
And everyone else who is eating like the way the SAD diet, the South American diet, these ultra processed foods. Now, once again, we go back. It's like if anything happens and you have those cells and they start misbehaving and they start growing as tumor. If you have a lot of sugar, that is going to feed them.
Right.
Okay. So there is sugar, that is glucose. There is also what Professor Thomas Seyfried is a well-known professor for cancer research, has said that there is amino acids. Cancer can also feed on proteins, so the amino acids, and fatty acids. And that one I didn't know before. I only knew that there was sugar, but now there is evidence that the cancer can feed on amino acids and also fatty acids. But the most commonly known is the sugar thing. Okay. So how can we prevent cancer?
Now we get to the part. Go ahead.
Okay, as I said, mostly cancer comes from smoking and obesity. So people who smoke, I think it's something that we should try the best we can not to smoke. And people also have these tendencies of you don't smoke, but you're always hanging around with smokers.
Right.
So the passive smoker should also be very careful. I don't say that that's going to lead to cancer, but if smoking is getting people have higher risk of getting cancer, then it would be also good not to stay close to someone who is smoking. The obesity also, this disease comes with high amount of sugar or whatever the food that they are eating. So it's really minding what we are eating. And what if even if you're not obese, what can you do? It's increasing your diet with high nutrients. First, we talked about glucose. So for those who have cancer, what I found and what research shows, they are the people who fast, or you can do ketogenic diet, or you reduce the amount of carbohydrates and glucides that are coming in. So when we start cancer, they're not going to grow. So the only thing we can do, the therapies that I used to do, that I used today, is trying the best to cut the food, the feeding. So how can we not feed cancer, right? So there are people who fast, but how long do you fast so that you kill the cells? That I want to say already here, I am not a doctor. Any information that I'm giving here, this is just through science research. It's out there. So it's just to inform you, and so you can talk to your doctor if you have cancer or if you have anyone who is suffering with the cancer. So this is not to tell you what to do, but this information is out there. It's just simplified, brought you here. See how you can do, talk to your doctor and find the best treatment with the person, right? So there are people who go fasting on a fast. And I have seen so many people who have done, like, they just do juicing. They will juice like vegetables, right? I remember someone saying he drank so many carrot juices that he started becoming orange, like, because that's all he was eating. So now you're asking, is the sugar in the carrot not filling? Or people will also ask, what about the fruits? That is a bit complex because fruits comes with glucose and also they have fructose. Glucose can be feeding cancer. Fructose goes straight to the liver, so the cancer is not going to have fructose as such, but still it can be metabolized after with fat.
Right.
But what happens with fruit?
Not to cut you off, just real quick, to give the folks an example, right? I started doing avocado and banana smoothies, right? So I'm thinking I'm doing a great thing. So I'm telling Catherine about this avocado and banana smoothie, and I'm using my organic coconut sugar. So she was like, wait a minute. I was like, what? This is good, right? She was like, yeah, but bananas already have sugar in it. You don't need the organic coconut sugar. So before she told me stop putting the organic coconut sugar into my smoothie, my avocado and banana smoothie, I was double sugaring it, man. I was double sugaring it. So
we see that a lot with the people adding honey, adding maple syrup. The fruits, they come with sugar, so there's no need of you adding more sugar, even if you want something tasty. And then, like, for me as a food blogger and as a nutrition coach, I have recipes on foodandheal.com, and I always say I don't go for fruits smoothie. I have to add some vegetables in it. Okay. I'm not saying smoothies are bad, but don't go for highly sugary smoothies.
Here's the thing, though, right? Once you told me I was double sugaring it, I'm like, okay, so that don't make no sense. But now I don't add the organic coconut sugar to my avocado and banana smoothie. Same thing. I get the same taste out of it. So
Yes.
I was very ignorant to adding sugar to a fruit that's already sugar in it. So we got to be we got to be mindful, man.
Well,
When we
yeah.
eat these
And I think it's because you, for example, I remember, I think you picked a recipe from somewhere
I did.
and you,
Yeah.
you copy the recipe. And that's how we do. I create recipes and I put them out there. But I always tell people, you have to know what you're putting in your plate. So
Exactly.
for me, I'm putting, they are healthy. I'm not saying these are the best healthy recipes that you get, but try to minimize how much sugar you're bringing in your system, especially if they're not healthy sugar, they're not going to help you with.
Right.
And I'm going to stick there a little bit, for example, because yesterday I was talking to one of my aunties, and I was recommending a diet, and they asked me, "What about honey?" I was like, "Wait a minute. This is so complicated because honey today is not the honey that it was. It's just like the way wheat flour today.
Break it down a little bit.
Sorry,
Break it down a little bit. Why is it
a
not the
little bit.
same?
Because honey is one, it has become an industrial product, so they make sugar and make you think it's honey. The other day, I got
Oh,
someone, a friend who goes to Spain, and they have someone who keeps the bees. And this person was telling them that today there are some people who don't let the bees out. They feed the bees with food, just like the way we do the livestock. You know, we no
right,
longer
right,
let
right.
the caged animals. So the honey, you really have to be very careful what kind of honey we are eating. You might think you're eating a good product. They never tell you it's chemical produced. So be very
Ah,
mindful of honey. And these bees, they are not being fed nectar. They're being fed food. What food do insects eat? They eat sugar.
every single
Question,
time we get on a podcast, I learn something new.
question mark. So, if actually to make honey, the bees needs nectar, and we tell them we are not going to go out to get your nectar from the flowers. We're going to feed you food. What kind of other food we can feed that animal apart from
Wow.
sugar? And then you have honey, but that honey is not honey at all. So
And
we really
folks, we
have
got
to
to
be
be
very
mindful.
careful. So if you want to use honey, try. Yeah.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So the other thing, sorry, are we okay?
I'm fine. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Where was I? I was in prevention. So we reduce the smoking, we take care of our diet, take about care of our mental, because a stressed body, a stressed brain, mind, it's going to nurture that place for cancer, because the stress actually hijacks the everything, the hormones, the immune system, and all that. So we really have to be very careful to avoid stress.
Bring that back a
Okay.
little bit. Talk about stress a little more because here in America, there's a
Mhm.
ton of folks stressful. So you're telling me that stress attracts that as well?
Yeah, because when you're stressed, you're, there is, we always bring this image back, like in the ancient time, being stressful was good, and somehow it's good because it makes you feel the danger. Feel like, okay, you need to stop, and if you feel like, if you're walking and you hear the car just pulling so fast, you're going to be stressed out, and so that is a mechanism for the body to say run, escape. Or when you're almost falling, there is that stress, that mechanism, that stress is there to protect us. Okay, it's a way of the body telling the brain and the mind working together to say you have to run, there is a danger. But now when you're stressed by every other day, that stress stays there. And
Right.
like I would say, anyone For example, you want to go to pee and all of a sudden someone buzzes at your door and you weren't expecting anyone, you're going to be stressed out and you're not going to go to the toilet for the next 1 or 2. Because one, you don't know who is it, so you go looking who it is it. So that it's a kind of a stress that is be
Gotcha.
aware. Okay.
I got you.
Now there is that stress when you see what happened there? You stopped going to the toilet. So the body stops what is going to happen. It concentrates on save yourself. Okay. So whatever you were supposed to go, digesting, or whatever, things that are not important, they are put back. Okay. So when you're stressed for a week, for 2 weeks, for a month, there are a lot of things that your body is not doing. It's not digesting the food properly because digestion is not important for the body. The body is supposed to keep you awake and alive and alive. So you have to run, you have to escape. So
Exactly.
try the best.
We spoke on a previous podcast how your body truly speaks to you. You just have to listen to it.
Yeah, for sure.
A couple of weeks ago, I mean, maybe 2-3 weeks ago, we spoke on that. How the body speaks to you, and it tells you exactly. And Catherine said that she said something very profound about your body being your prescription. Everything we
your
need
body is it's your own pharmacy. It's supposed to heal itself. Apart from babies who are born with diseases, mostly when we are born, we come here. We don't come here to force it. The body has its own way mechanism to heal.
Right.
And there are so many diseases that we can prevent. And if we get sick, there are so many diseases that we can heal. So try the best to come out of stress. It's not good for your health. Even when there is no cancer, you're still not living a healthy life. The other thing is lack of sleep. Now, let me tell you one thing here. I found this so interesting. 75% of patients who have cancer have sleep disorders. They have insomnia or apnea. 75%. 85% of cancer patients have fatigue. And people who work at night shifts, according to the World Health Organization, it's almost considered as carcinogenic.
Wow.
So it raises the risk of getting cancer if you're constantly working these night shifts because you have no sleep. When we sleep, we repair ourselves. And we need that deep sleep to go and repair. Okay? So when people are just saying, oh, yeah, I can't sleep, I can only sleep for 4 hours or 5 hours, you are just not doing yourself a favor because you need to go to a deep sleep and repair. Okay? Did you know that the brain shrinks at night for it to clear it up? Because it's full and so it shrinks a little bit and the toxins gets out. So we need to sleep. We need to sleep. Now, there are people who are going to ask me, when do I need to sleep? Mostly those who are in the know-how, they say you sleep from 6 to 7 hours. Don't oversleep because it's not also healthy for you. So you sleep at least 6, 7, or 8 hours.
Right. Through my research with this recovery, through my research, it was like when we're asleep, when we get good sleep, brain is actually healing.
Yeah.
And I had a loss of memory when I became I had to bleed on the brain.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of information from my neurologist, but then again, I didn't get enough information from my neurologist.
Okay.
So I started doing my own research. So I found out that the more you sleep, the more your brain is actually healing and renewing itself.
And also the body, it's not just the brain. Okay, you are more looking for the body, but the body.
Exactly, and this is why, like, I have friends who always tease me, like, "Wow, you're getting old. You're in bed by 7:30, 8 o'clock." Nah, I'm still in recovery.
You're healing.
And this
Yeah,
brain
for sure.
strain. So, Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
on a regimen. I mean, I wake up 5:15 every morning. I'm
Yeah.
in bed by 8 o'clock.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
really good. That is respecting the circadian rhythm. You know it? You know
exactly,
it.
exactly.
Circadian rhythm, for those who don't know, is the sunrise and the sunset. Like we are all animals, like every other animal, and we follow. We're supposed. Our brains are wired to follow that rhythm where as the sun rises. Actually, when the sun rises, your cortisol goes up,
Mhm.
and your cortisol goes start going down as the day goes by, and the sunset, your melatonin goes up so that you can sleep.
Catherine, please repeat that for the folks so they could clearly understand what you just said as far as when the sun goes up.
When the sun goes up, the cortisol goes up, so you are active, and it goes down as you go down during the day. In the evening, as the sun is setting, melatonin is the hormone for sleeping, so it goes up so that you can go to sleep. Now, here comes to, even if it doesn't concern a little bit of cancer, when you're eating at 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the evening, your melatonin is up, you're supposed to be sleeping. So you are hijacking your body, the system of you going to repair. Now you're telling your body you have to go and digest.
Exactly.
That's
Last,
how we go on.
my last meal for the day is
Mm,
at 5 p.m. I don't go past
yeah,
6 o'clock.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Go
So to
ahead.
go back to cancer, so what causes cancer? As I said in the beginning, you can be exposed to chemicals that are going to make you have that cancer. That is the only way I think you can heal that is through what do we call this? There are some detoxification that you can go through. Now you have to know which chemicals you are exposed to. The other thing that causes cancer, that can make cancer develop, is inflammation. So whenever we have inflammation going, and inflammation, there are two types of inflammation. When you're cut, when you're hit by something, you're feeling pain. That's normal, because if you are to put yourself on a heat or something that is on fire and you're not feeling it, then you understand you're going to burn yourself. So inflammation is good, and we call that acute inflammation, is where the body is sending awareness to the brain. There is something we need to move on. And the funniest thing is, when you feel pain on your hands, on whatever you're feeling pain, that part doesn't have pain cells. It's the brain that is having this pain that creates that sensation of the pain. And
Wow.
so the inflammation we are talking about here is when you have diseases, for example, the chronic diseases that are going on, or some inflammation that maybe you're not even aware of. For example, people who have cancer. Cancer, you get the symptoms long time after the cancer cells have really, unless you're going for checking up every other day, screening every time, that's when they can maybe catch the cancer when it's still young, as at the beginning, the early stages. But when we have these inflammations that are going on, we are talking about diabetes, we're talking about arthritis, rheumatoid, autoimmune diseases. This inflammation can really enhance the possibilities of having cancer. So we really have to take care of it.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so we talked about the diet, so reducing the amount of sugar that you're eating, and sugar is not just the sugar molecules. We're talking about high carbohydrates foods, everything that is really high in carbohydrates. It's going to have that high glucose and glucose, and that is going to be a fuel for cancer. Now, there are people who are going to ask, do I stop eating rice? Do I stop eating? How am I going to eat? Well, for me, all I'm doing here is to bring the information. That is something that you really need to go into a
Okay.
personalized way of living to see what can you remove. But once again, anything that is processed, it's going to have high carbohydrates. It's going to be a high glucose source for the cancer. Okay, so I talked about fasting, reduce the alcohol as well, reduce the stress. So, and about the fruits and the vegetables, the greens, fruits and vegetables that are colored, these colorful foods have chemicals, phytochemicals. So when I was talking about fruits and like fruits brings sugar. Yes, it brings sugar, but it comes with phytochemicals.
Right.
These phytochemicals have there are some of them that have the capacity of destroying or reducing the cancer. So, for example, I'm drinking green tea here, and green tea is one of the plants that you can take because it's going to reduce the growth of tumor or the cancer cells. We have things like catechin like green onions, red onions, for example, tomatoes. Tomatoes have lycopene. Lycopene is bioavailable when the tomatoes are cooked. We have garlic. To have the chemical compound in garlic, it's very potent for cancer, but you have to crush or cut the garlic and leave it for 10 minutes so that that compound can become bioavailable. So there are some food that you can really target. I'm not saying those are going to heal you if you have cancer, but when you have doctors or your physicians, you're working with them, you can improve this food so that they can help your body to fight cancer. Okay. I'm not saying that you're not supposed to go and have your chemotherapy. That is a personal choice. You see that with your doctor. But I'm not saying food alone is capable of healing you. It's like there are strong molecules from the food. When I say, like, for example, you can have green tea, maybe green tea that I'm drinking here, it's not going to help you, but there is a molecule that is called ECG. I remember ECGC. It's in green tea, but you can have that as a supplement. When I talk about garlic, or when I'm talking about cucumber, when I'm talking about onions, catechin, you can have it as a supplement. So you can eat them. You can eat onions when you're in the prevention, but when you have that disease, you need a high vitamin C. You need those flavonoids, but they come in. The supplement will be the best way to have them. But once again, you need to talk to your doctor for that.
Good stuff. I think we should stop it here so we could do a part 2, because this is some very, very important information that needs to be shared. And it's not, we can't get it all in 45
For
minutes.
sure. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll do a part 2 2 Thursdays from now, correct?
Okay.
Do a part 2.
Please, for those who have questions, drop the questions here so that I can work on your questions.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So tell the folks where they can find you, where they can get the great nutritious recipes and all the stuff. foodandheal.com.
Yeah, thank you. I'm also on Facebook.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
I'm also on Facebook. I'm Catherine Gedu, and I'm soon going to put on YouTube so that I can put this podcast on the YouTube.
Good stuff. Let me put the website up. Food and Heal, share some wonderful recipes that you guys can actually.
It's all on small typing, so don't put capital letters. But it's
it doesn't as far as when they put it in the browser. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay. Yeah, get there. You have nice recipes, and these are the recipes that I have used for years now that I don't use medication, and I hope they can help you as well. And look, join me in Facebook, and let's go have conversation. Yeah.
And I have to tell you, man, I've been knowing Catherine for a number of years. We've been friends for a number of years, and my health, honestly, to be honest with you, some of the things that I've received from Catherine as far as help me with, reading labels and whatnot. I believe that was part of the reason my recovery went off without a hitch, man. Because I wasn't sick. I don't suffer with diabetes or anything like that. I used to run 4 and 5 miles a day, and you know, consulting with Catherine as I read these labels, you got to be mindful what you're consuming, man. You have
Yeah.
to be very mindful what you're consuming. And I like to believe that having a nutrition coach as a friend partly saved my life. So I'm grateful
Thank
to you,
you.
Kat. Truly grateful. I love you. The friendship is phenomenal. So good stuff there, man. Real good stuff. Again, foodandheal.com.
.com.
Food, letter N, nheal.com. And she has some wonderful recipes there, man. Wonderful recipes. Anything else you want to share with the folks?
I also offer coaching for women who really want to improve their health. I am my own proof that food can heal, because I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, and it has been 7 years that I haven't used medicine. And I also, at that time, I used to, before I think when I got here, or even before, I used to sneeze a lot. And then as I got here, it started becoming like, it was pathogenic. I couldn't live one day without having, those things, those sneezing, you're sneezing 30 times in a minute. People are looking at you like, you have a problem.
Right.
So I used to be like that. I used to have asthma as well. So I found myself several times in emergency room, and
Catherine's got to disagree. Catherine's got to disagree because I'm always bigging up Africa, but I like to believe that the air is more cleaner in Africa. So she's in France now. She's been in France for 26 years.
26 years.
26 years.
Yeah.
And I feel to believe that the air is more fresher over in Africa. That's just my personal opinion. So
You're right on one thing. It's true, and especially where I grew up.
Are you agreeing with me? Are you agreeing with me?
I'm agreeing with you because me. It was the fact, one of those things that shocked me when I got here is, I discovered Africa that I didn't know. Not like I hadn't traveled. Africa is a continent, by the way. So I come from Kenya, and I come here, and I'm seeing Africa on the screen, and I'm hearing, when you go to Africa, you remember, don't eat fruits with the skin. I was like, what? Don't drink the water. I'm like, huh?
Right.
Yeah, and then I was like, well, me where I grew up, there was only one car that was passing by one day. And there were no industrial stuff that were going around. I was drinking water from the mountains. And now you're telling me, and we grew our own food, and we didn't have any fertilizers, we didn't have any chemicals sprayed on it. And now I come here and I'm being told, yeah, even for me to go to Africa, I had to have vaccinations, Like, I was like, man, it's so funny.
Gotcha, yeah, man.
I also had agree that the Africa maybe I left is not the same Africa today, but yes, and this is something I talk so much, like people who are coaching and they are not in industrialized countries, they have to be very careful what the information they are getting from the internet, because most of the scientific research is based on the America and the European countries. Yes, they go to China, exactly. But these are the countries where they have chemicals that have been, that's why they're industrialized, because they used a lot of chemicals, right? So Africa, they have to be very careful, because when you're told not to eat fruits with skin and your fruit is growing out there, they don't have any chemicals. Now tell me, who is supposed to be removing skin from their fruits? People who are here, because they're the one who are spraying chemicals in their food, on their food. So we be very careful. I'm not saying everything is clean, but it's sure. Of course, when we talk about reducing the carbon dioxide or the way we are the way we are driving the cars, America, for example, they are not ready for that, and they're telling Africans to do that. And they're telling Africans to do that. Africans, they don't have all those cars that we have, you guys. But anyway, but then we don't forget that the air circulates, and so the chemicals that are here can be found on the other side.
Exactly. So we'll be doing a part 2 a couple of Thursdays from now. Catherine and I podcast twice a month on Thursdays. 8:30 Central, 3:30 European time, 6:30 East African time. Is it 6:30?
Yeah.
6:30 East African time. So good stuff, man. We really appreciate you guys for tuning in. It's always informative with the nutritionist coach Catherine. We're really, 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 really grateful for all the informative information she's always sharing and helping us move along with our health and all that good stuff, man. Really good stuff. So you can catch Catherine twice a month. We've been doing this for quite some time now. So good stuff. Yeah. She's broadcasting.
And don't forget to drop.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Don't forget to drop the questions.
Yeah, drop your questions. Any questions you have for, I guarantee she'll answer them. She'll research it and she'll get those answers to you guys. So truly appreciate that stuff. We're broadcasting in 175 different countries and regions, and we'll be here doing this. So good stuff, man. And we're actually building, in the process of building, her YouTube channel so that everybody could, come on and catch all that good stuff, the good knowledge and informative information that she has to offer. So good stuff, man. Real good stuff. You want to close out, Catherine? Because I had to get out of here and go to the gym.
Oh, okay. Thank you, everyone, and talk to you next time. Have a nice day.
Good stuff. You guys be epic.
Bye-bye.
Conversations with Trent in conjunction with Taylor Kennedy Media and your radio network would like to thank you for calling in and listening to tonight's episode. We hope that tonight's conversation offended you just enough to turn your mirror inward to come back for more. So until next week's conversation, be epic.